There's a couple different ways to use them. A lot of traders use them to try and trade in between, buy when it hits the lower band, sell when it hits the higher band. That's one way to use them. Another way
Welcome back, traders and investors. We have Dan Cook on the line. He is Director of Business Development at Nadex. Dan, how you doing today?
Doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for coming on again. Before we go into some specific questions, tell us what Nadex is and what's going on over there.
There's a lot going on. Nadex is an exchange, so we're regulated by the CFTC. Where we're a bit different is, and it's really in our structure and design. There was kind of a big gap in the markets as far as the individual active trader that wanted to participate. A lot of people want to trade futures. A lot of people want to trade stocks. In a lot of cases, it takes quite a bit of capital to do that. So effectively, because of position risk or margin requirements, people have been kind of shut out of the markets. And what we've really strived to do is to open it up, do it in a sensible manner, though, where people can start with some less risk capital than is traditionally required, but also manage their market risk. So, no margin calls, all limited risk contracts, basically options for the everyday person.
Options for the everyday person. Okay. So you've had this pickup in volatility in the market. Have you had some pickup in volume over at Nadex?
Definitely, and that's one of the great things. And actually, we've seen, and we're really in a growth phase because we are fairly kind of a new kid on the block. We're in that growth phase, and even when volatility was relatively low, one of the unique characteristics, because of the short time frame of a binary option, even when volatility is low, you can still find opportunities because the time value of the option just continues to move, and so you get activity even if the underlying market's not. That being said, any exchange in the world will tell you we love volatility. Traders love it when the market's moving. It's kind of boring when it's not. And when we see volatility pick up, our volume, follows kind of in lockstep as well.
So tell us what some of the popular contracts have been over the last week.
We've had quite a bit on the stock index futures. People are a lot of it, as you know, is revolving around the Fed and what they're doing. And last week we had their quarterly report out. We're getting into earnings season here in a little bit, so people are kind of looking at our stock index futures, as well as currencies are always quite popular. The euro dollar is always a big one, the dollar yen, and so we're really seeing a lot of people gravitate towards those. And then, of course, the weekly crude oil report, so those that are trading commodities love that one as well.
Could you give me an example of an index future one that will be on the card today for investors?
Definitely. We've got what we call the US 500. It settles to the the E-mini S&P 500. That one's always very active in our contracts. I think we'll start to see, and who knows what the market's actually going to do, but where we'll see traders take that opinion and whether they think the market's going up, whether they think it's going down, as long as they think it's going to move. We're actually seeing people take both sides of the trade, and that's one of the unique things you can do with a binary, similar to an options. You can take both sides, and if you get that movement, basically in a direction neutral fashion, you can find that opportunity to hopefully profit. There's no guarantees in trading, just as there's no guarantees in life. But there's some unique strategies they can wrap around. But the E-mini S&P, such a popular contract in the underlying market, as well as here at Nadex in the version of the US 500.
Okay, and what kind of volume would you do in a typical day on a contract like that?
It does vary from day to day, but typically 5,000 to 6,000 contracts on something like the E-mini S&P, the US 500.
Okay, and are you trading against are you trading with the market maker, or are you actually trading with other participants in the on Nadex who want to take the other side of your trade?
Both, actually. We do have market makers, which are there. They provide quotes, provide the liquidity. So when you see the order book up, typically that's the market maker providing quotes. They're in there literally just like a market maker on any other exchange to provide that liquidity. But at the same time, every member on Nadex, every individual that comes in and becomes a member on Nadex, you might be, matching Tom from Montana, who's also got a trade on the other side of Jill from New York. And so every member that comes in, that's one of the unique features. As the exchange, we're just here to match buyers and sellers. So it may be a market maker on the other side. It may be another member. And that's what we try to do: create a fair playing field for everybody.
Okay, and what's your typical account size at your exchange?
It varies quite a bit. One of the unique things is with binary options, you can start out relatively small because you can place a trade for 10, 20, $30. And we see people come in with a lot of people start out with a few $100s and then decide if they want to put more in. But typical account size could range anywhere from $100 to 10,000 to 25,000.
Okay, all right. And so the crude oil was absolutely crazy yesterday. I guess there was some news of a big couple big banks going wrong on a hedge and had some unprecedented volatility. A huge move in the crude oil market. Did you get a spike in volume in the crude oil contracts?
We anytime there's a major news announcement, we definitely see that volatility when it's making headlines. Just like any other market, you'll see people scrambling because some people may have existing positions out there that they're trying to just get out of before they, all trying to catch that falling knife. But one of the unique things is because there's no margin calls, we see people where they can actually get into those big moves, those big news stories, without the fear of having to call the wife and tell them, "I'm sorry, kids, I'm sorry, honey, the kids aren't going to college because I put everything into the fund and thought oil was going to 85 and now it's sitting at 105, just to throw out round numbers."
Yep. Is
And,
there any
yeah.
arbitrage opportunities between the exchanges and your exchange?
Probably for somebody really sophisticated, they could probably find, just like all traders, you look for an edge. And if you're, somebody that's trading traditional options, what they're trying to do with Nadex, or even just the traditional futures contracts, is maybe offset some of that risk or find an edge between the two markets. It's tough to say that there's a lot of arbitrage because there's not I guess, a 100% correlation between the two as far as a value perspective. So I don't know if arbitrage is the right term, but everybody that's trading one market may look to this and say, "Hey, I think this is priced a little bit inefficiently. I'm going to get into this contract."
And if someone wants to learn more about trading on your exchange, what's the best way for them to learn about it?
I would say go to nadex.com. Underneath on the homepage, you can go underneath trading. We have a 2-week demo account. Go in, try it out first. I think they're great contracts, but like any type of trading, anytime you put money in market, it's money at risk. So get educated first, learn how the contracts work, call our customer service. They're great at helping people out. Like anything else, take it slow, learn the contracts, and then see if it's something that's right for you.
Okay, we've had Dan Cook on here, and he's head of business development at the Nadex Exchange. Another way to navigate the markets. One thing is you're putting your money in there. It's cash contracts, as he said. You don't have to worry about margin calls. Well, Dan, thanks for coming on, talking about your exchange, and we hope to have you on again.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it.
Okay.